Okay, buckle up Reddit because this is a long one and I'm still not sure if I'm living in reality or a badly written soap opera. I'm using a throwaway for obvious reasons. My 32F husband, David, 34M, is an amazing guy. Truly, we've been married for 5 years together for 8. The only colossal festering issue in our otherwise happy life is his mother, my ML Brenda, 60s. Title: My Emil is on a one-woman mission to prove I'm a cheating, thieving, lying sociopath, and I'm losing my mind. Let me preface this by saying that when I first met Brenda, she was eccentric, a bit overbearing with David, very particular about her house, her routines, her opinions. But I figured, okay, she loves her son. I can deal with quirky. She'd make comments like, oh, David never liked his pasta that way. Or you're very modern in your dress sense, dear. Annoying but manageable. I'd just smile and nod and change the subject. David, bless his heart, was mostly oblivious, attributing it to that's just mom. He's an only child, and I think he was conditioned to see her behavior as normal. The real crazy train left the station shortly after our wedding. It was like a switch flipped. Suddenly, I wasn't just David's quirky modern wife. I was a threat, a saboteur, a gold-digging harlot, sent to destroy her precious boy and her perfect family legacy, which for the record consists mostly of Tupperware parties and complaining about the neighbors. Phase 1. The Infidelity Hunt. It started subtly. If I was on my phone, she'd crane her neck. Who are you texting, dear? Anyone interesting, with this weird knowing smirk. If I mentioned a male colleague, oh, is he handsome? Does David know you have lunch with men? It was always phrased like a joke, but with a sharp accusatory edge. Then came the drive-bys. We live about 20 minutes from her. If David was working late and I was home alone, sometimes her car would just appear. She'd happen to be in the neighborhood and thought she'd drop off some cookies, but she'd peer past me into the house, her eyes scanning for, I don't know, a secret lover hiding in the coat closet. One Saturday, David was out playing golf. I was deep cleaning the house, music blasting, looking like a swamp monster. The doorbell rings. It's Brenda. Oh, I just popped by to see David. He's golfing, Brenda. Remember? We mentioned it at dinner last week.
Oh, did you?
My memory isn't what it used to be. Well, since I'm here. And she'd try to invite herself in. I started getting good at polite but firm deflections. Actually, Brenda, the house is a disaster, and I was just about to jump in the shower. Maybe another time. Her face would tighten. The accusations became more direct, but always to David, not me. He'd come home looking troubled. Mom called. She said she saw your car at that new coffee shop downtown during your lunch break. She said you were laughing with some guy. Yeah, that was Mark from accounting. We were grabbing coffee to discuss the quarterly reports. What's the big deal? She just worried. She said you looked very friendly. I'd roll my eyes. David, she's being ridiculous. Are you seriously entertaining this? Initially, he'd defend her. She's just protective, honey. She doesn't mean anything by it. Oh, how naive we both were. The peak of the infidelity hunt was when she somehow got into my old deactivated Facebook account. I hadn't used it in years, but apparently I hadn't set the privacy settings to Fort Knox levels. She found photos of me with an old college boyfriend from 10 years ago. She printed them out and presented them to David. Look at this, David. She's clearly still hung up on this man. Why else would she keep these pictures? Is she still in contact with him? Are you sure you know who you married? David, to his credit, was furious with her for that one. Mom, that's from before I even met her. What are you doing snooping through her old stuff? This is insane. She burst into tears, playing the victim. I'm just trying to protect you. I have a mother's intuition. That was the first time David really pushed back hard, and she gave him the silent treatment for a week. It was a blissful week for me. Phase 2, the case of the missing and apparently stolen items. After the Facebook debacle, the cheating accusations simmered down a bit, probably because David had made it clear he wouldn't tolerate it, so Brenda pivoted. If I wasn't a cheater, I must be a thief. It started with small things. We'd be at her house for dinner. Has anyone seen my special silver pickle fork? It was right here. She'd eye me. A week later, my favorite tea towel with the embroidered robins is gone. I just washed it. Again the stare. It was never anything valuable, always small, sentimental items. The implication was clear. I was pilfering her trinkets. The most absurd incident involved a half-eaten block of cheese. We'd had them over for a barbecue. The next day, Brenda called David in a panic. "David, some of my good cheddar is missing from the fridge. I know I had at least half a block left after you two went home. Did OP's name take it? She does like my cheddar." I just stared at David when he relayed this. She thinks I stole cheese? Brenda, who lives alone and probably ate the cheese herself, thinks I, a grown woman with her own grocery budget, snuck cheese out of her house. David was starting to look exhausted by this point. I know, it's crazy. I told her that, but she didn't let up. She'd find things in odd places after we'd visited and call to say, "Oh, good news! I found my pickle fork. It was under the sofa cushion in the den. Funny, I don't remember you sitting there, OP's name, but someone must have dropped it." The insinuation being, I'd tried to hide it and failed. Then came the big one. Brenda has this hideous porcelain doll she calls Clarabelle. It's got dead eyes and a creepy fixed smile. She claims it's a priceless heirloom. Spoiler, a quick Google search revealed Clarabelle was a mass-produced doll from the 80s, worth about $15. We were over for Christmas. Clarabelle sat on her usual dusty shelf in the living room. A few days after Christmas, Brenda calls David, hysterical. "Clarabelle is gone. She's been stolen." Naturally, I was the prime suspect. "David, your wife was the last one in the living room before we went to bed on Christmas night. She was admiring Clarabelle. I saw her." I had in fact glanced at the creepy doll, probably with a look of mild horror, which she interpreted as admiration. David, now fully on Team Mom is losing it, actually drove over there. He searched the house, and where did he find Clarabelle? Stuffed in a rarely used linen closet, behind a stack of old towels. Brenda was momentarily stumped. "Well, I certainly didn't put her there. Someone must have been trying to hide her to take her later." "Mom," David said, his voice weary. Who? Who would break into your house, ignore your TV and jewelry, and steal a doll, only to hide it in your own linen closet?" Her response? "Well, OP's name has a key for emergencies." The implication was I'd snuck back in, grabbed the doll, got spooked, and hid it. I almost choked on my water when David told me. Phase 3, the compulsive liar narrative. When the thief angle didn't stick because, no evidence and it was utterly bonkers, she shifted to painting me as a pathological liar. Everything I said was twisted, reinterpreted, or outright denied. If I said the traffic was bad today, she'd later tell David, OP's name was complaining about having to drive so far to see me. She clearly doesn't value family. If I said I'm a bit tired, I had a long week at work, it became OP's name is always making excuses not to engage. She's so aloof, I think she's depressed. Or maybe she's just rude. She'd misremember entire conversations to make me look bad. "Brenda, you said you'd bring your famous cheesecake to Sunday dinner." Me, Brenda, I said I might if I had time, but I make brownies, not cheesecake. Brenda, to David. Later. OP's name promised cheesecake, and then deliberately didn't bring it just to disappoint me. And then she lied about it. She even started trying to gaslight me directly. "Brenda, you look a bit pale, dear. Are you feeling all right? You told me last week you were having stomach troubles." Me, "No, Brenda, I feel fine. And I definitely didn't mention any stomach troubles." Brenda, "Oh, don't be silly, of course you did. You were quite worried. My memory is perfect." She'd say this with such conviction. Sometimes I'd almost doubt myself for a split second. This phase was the hardest on David. He was caught in the middle. He knew I wasn't lying. But Brenda would weep and wail about how he always takes her side, meaning me, and how I was manipulating him. She'd call his aunts and cousins, spinning tales of my supposed deceit. We started getting weird vibes from some extended family members who only heard her side. The breaking point, for David, thank God. The straw that finally broke the camel's back for David was relatively minor compared to some of her other antics, but it was the undeniable proof of her deliberate malice. Brenda had a small, slightly valuable antique silver locket. Nothing major, but sentimental. She lost it after we'd been over for her birthday. Cue the usual drama. It was on my dresser, and now it's gone. OP's name was in my bedroom to use the ensuite bathroom. I hadn't even been in her bedroom that day. I used the guest bathroom downstairs. David was tired. He just said, "Mom, I'm sure it'll turn up." A week later, we were invited over again. While David was helping her with something in the garden, I needed to use the bathroom. I went upstairs to the ensuite, Brenda had conveniently forgotten to unlock the downstairs guest bathroom that day, claiming the lock was stuck. As I washed my hands, something glinted under the edge of the small bathroom rug. I nudged it with my toe. It was the lock. My blood ran cold. There is no way that Locket had been there for a week. Her bathroom is small, and she's a meticulous cleaner. It would have been found. It felt planted. I didn't touch it. I went downstairs, and when David came back inside, I quietly asked him to come upstairs with me. I pointed to the locket. "David, look." He frowned. "Mom's locket, so it was here all along." "David," I said, trying to keep my voice even, "think about it. It's right there, practically in plain sight. Do you really think it's been there for a week? In her bathroom, which she uses every day." The penny dropped. I saw it in his eyes. The realization that his mother wasn't just forgetful or eccentric or protective. She was actively, deliberately trying to frame me. He picked up the locket, went downstairs and confronted her. "Mom, I found your locket. It was in your bathroom, under the rug." Brenda started with, "Oh, thank goodness. I must have dropped it." But David cut her off. "Mom, stop. It was placed there. It wasn't dropped. Why are you doing this?" She crumpled. The waterworks started. "I don't know what you mean. I would never. Maybe OP's name put it there to make me look bad when she found it." That was it for David. He saw through the manipulative tears for the first time. "No, Mom, she didn't. I've had enough of this. You've been accusing her of awful things for years, and it stops now." He told her we needed space and that he wouldn't tolerate her treating me this way any longer. We left. It was the quietest car ride home ever. The aftermath and current situation. That was about 6 months ago. We went very low contact, VLC, with Brenda. David handles all communication, which is minimal, text mostly, short phone calls. She tried a few extinction bursts, dramatic voicemails, guilt-tripping texts about her health. She's remarkably healthy for someone fading away from a broken heart. Attempts to recruit flying monkeys from the family, which mostly failed, as many of them had seen her behavior escalate over the years, and were tired of it too. She sent me a non-apology card. "I'm sorry if anything I've done has been misunderstood. I only ever wanted what's best for David." No acknowledgement of her specific actions, no actual remorse. I didn't respond. David has been a rock. He's in therapy now, working through a lot of childhood stuff, and the fog, fear, obligation, guilt that kept him from seeing her clearly for so long. Our marriage is stronger for it, ironically. We're a team, but I'm not gonna lie, it's taken a toll on me. I'm more anxious, less trusting of new people. I still sometimes have nightmares where she's chasing me with Clarabelle the doll. We've set firm boundaries, no unsupervised visits with her, no more tolerating passive-aggressive comments. If she starts, the visit call ends. She's mostly behaving herself during the brief, supervised interactions we've had. A couple of holidays, a family birthday, always in neutral territory or with other family as buffers. But there's this underlying tension. I feel like I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop, for her to come up with some new, outlandish accusation. Recently she started a new tactic, being overly sweet to me. "Oh, OP's name. That dress is lovely on you. You have such wonderful taste." It feels fake and cloying, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I just smile politely and keep my distance. So, Reddit, that's my saga. Years of my life spent dodging accusations from a woman whose reality seems to be a few sandwiches short of a picnic. I sometimes wonder if she actually believes the things she says, or if it's all a calculated campaign. David thinks it's a mix of both, a desperate need for control, jealousy, and maybe some undiagnosed mental health issues. We're surviving, and our life is mostly peaceful now, but we've limited her access to us. But the scars are there. Has anyone else dealt with that ML this determined to paint them as a villain? How do you ever truly let your guard down again? Is there any hope for a genuinely normal, or at least tolerable relationship in the future? Or is VLCNC the only way to preserve our sanity? TLDR, my ML spent years accusing me of cheating, stealing her knickknacks and cheese, and being a pathological liar. It took her planting evidence for my DH to finally see the light. We're now VLC, but I'm still recovering from the campaign of crazy, looking for solidarity and wondering if it ever truly gets better.